Hey everyone, and welcome to Already Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Tara, and we are going to talk about the Twilight Zone, Season 1, Episode 9. This is called Perchance to Dream. This is, of course, the classic Twilight Zone, for the record. I should specify, actually, because
Mhm.
a new one's on. And
There
not
are
even just
more
a,
now.
not even just a new one, there's the 80s one, there's the 90s or 2000s one, there's like 5 of the bloody things. But yeah,
We're doing the good one.
we're doing a good one, yes. And I just watched the 4th episode of the new one earlier today, and we're definitely doing the good one. Uh, so this is Perchance to Dream. Full spoilers for the episode, as always. This episode is about a man named Edward who has been awake for over 8 hours. He goes to a psychiatrist to try and explain why he's determined not to go to sleep. He thinks that if he goes to sleep, he'll die. And of course, my horror mind goes to Nightmare on Elm Street, right? I'm like, Freddy Krueger's
Yeah,
after him.
this is very Nightmare on Elm Street.
So he goes to a psychiatrist and he lies down. He kind of falls asleep for like a second. He wakes back up, and the psychiatrist, okay, explain to me what's going on. And there's some mumbo jumbo about how he used to look at paintings of a boat and imagine the boat was moving, and the boat would start moving. But then he gets to the gist of what he's actually going through, which is that he's having these nightmares, and he thinks that he will actually die if the nightmares get to the ending. And then we see like some sort of flashbacks of his nightmare sequences where he's at this carnival, he meets this woman, and he thinks he's going to be eventually thrown off a roller coaster. That is the gist of the episode, so I'll ask Tara the question. Tara,
hmm
did you enjoy Perchance to Dream?
Yes. Yes, I did. It was
Well,
a cool horror episode, I thought.
so here's where we differ a little bit, because I this might be the first episode I outright dislike.
Oh, dislike.
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh,
I'm not willing to, put my word on it, but like it's okay. It's it's a fun time. It's a horror movie episode, and I don't know if there's a lot to dislike. Explain.
don't worry, I don't think it's going to cause us to break up, right? I'm just, I'm just, like I'm watching the episode, and the first half of it, like I felt by the time we got, because there's the ad break in the middle, right? There's always this break when it goes to the ads in the middle,
hmm
and it comes back. I felt like by the time we got to the ads, I learned so little about what was going on, and it was just him kind of blabbering on about fairly vague stuff. The only time I kind of perked up in the first half of the episode, I like the opening shot. There's a shot of him looking up at the building at the start. I thought, oh, that's a cool model or something that they're looking up at. It felt kind of
Yeah.
cool. And then there's a moment where he opens the window because they're up, 30 floors up or whatever, and the psychiatrist just kind of casually comes over and like starts to lower the window, and he's like, "We'll keep the window closed, shall we?" And he's like, "You thought it was going to jump," and I'm like, "Okay, what's it doing here?" And in the second half, I thought the nightmare sequences felt a bit cartoony to me. I don't know, maybe I was just grumpy for this one, but I felt like,
Yeah, it had a bit of a like Carnival of Souls vibe. I had
hmm,
seen that movie recently and it kind of reminded me of that,
great movie.
which, yeah, it's all right.
Okay, maybe we are going to break up then. All right.
It's over. Find yourself another co-host. No, don't, please.
Oh dear, I just like it got to the nightmare stuff, and it felt like just really kind of. I don't want to use the word cheesy, because I feel like there's people who will watch old content and they'll say everything's cheesy, right? They can't put themselves in the mindset of the show or whatever at the time.
Yeah, it had like a smoky filter to it, so you knew you were in like his memory. It
Mm.
wasn't it wasn't a very clear image of everything. I
Lot
mean,
of
I
Dutch,
can see what you're saying though.
yeah.
It is a little bit cheesy, but it is at least distinctive from what the reality is.
Oh sure, yeah, it does differentiate quite well, and it's a lot of Dutch angles, and he meets this Maya that kind of becomes this mystery woman in his dreams that he thinks is trying to kill him, and
Right.
she, like, her introduction as well, like it was this kind of like traditional thing you get in old TV shows where she's kind of like not quite belly dancing, but she kind of comes out and she's just kind of like dancing a little bit, and it just wasn't really working for me. And to be fair, like just to compare it to the hit television show Star Trek, the original series, which Tara likes to bring up on the occasion,
How dare
like
you take my line?
you can reference Buffy later. It's okay. um, so
Man, I gotta start thinking of how I can do that. Okay.
yeah, challenge. So on Star Trek, every so often there'd be an episode where we'd have like a guest star, like a woman who's there to like either entice Kirk or usually Kirk, sometimes another character, but usually Kirk. And
Hmm.
you'll have them come out in some ridiculous outfit, and sometimes it'd make me laugh because in an effort to make them look kind of like exotic, they'd have this ridiculous belly dancer outfit on, or they'd have them wearing something. And maybe it is just like a generation thing where I look at this and go, "This looks stupid. What are we doing here?" like, but
Yeah, I did like how the thing he was talking about with the psychiatrist with his dreams
mm,
were that when he was a kid, they used to happen in sequence. Like every time he would fall asleep, it would pick right back up from where he left off. And that part of the story I was engaged by because where the dreams with Maya, now that they've been happening again, Maya keeps leading him towards something that will cause him to die. And because he knows in his mind that he's able to manipulate reality by like staring at a painting, he can eventually make a move that he knows his mind has the power to kill him if he imagines it.
mm.
So Maya leading him to this death while he's dreaming, he knows is going to lead him to his death. So he doesn't want to do it. That part I thought was really creative and um, really cool for the time that it came out. Especially this, it does kind of get reused in franchises.
Yeah, I
Nightmare on
mean,
Elm Street.
I don't think Craven took it from this. Maybe he did secretly see this episode that he's telling fibs, but
Well, who knows? Maybe he saw it and he didn't realize he remembered it from here.
well, because he always said the inspiration for Nightmare on Elm Street is he actually read a news article about a teenager who believed she would die if she went to sleep, so she was like staying up for a week at a time. It was based on like just a it had nothing to do
Okay.
with Freddy Krueger. That he made all that up, but it was just like a simple news story about this girl who believed she'd die if she went back to sleep.
Hmm.
Um, so assuming he's telling the truth, he never he maybe didn't see this, but I like. I think what would help this episode out a lot for me is I think the whole idea that his dreams are in sequence and he believes that she's trying to kill him, and if he goes back to sleep, it'll get to the point where he dies. I think if that was all set up more clearly before the ad break, like introduce
Okay.
those concepts so that in the second half we can actually play with the outcome. I felt like the episode was barely done introducing what it was about when it ended, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I I guess. So, do you want to go over how it ends?
Sure. So the twist of the episode is that when he fell asleep for a split second at the start, which I think is pretty obvious to see coming because it has this weird cut to it when he gets back up. But
Yeah, it immediately goes into the Rod Serling's narration and
mm,
the Twilight Zone intro
yeah,
from
so
there.
he wakes up and it turns out that he never actually woke up. That everything that's happened in the office since he lay down has been one of the dreams, and that the secretary is also Maya, and he ends up jumping out the window to get away from her. He just dives out the window, and then
Yeah.
he's left lying there on the where he was sleeping, and it's like he's had a heart attack. And I guess I mean the one thing I like about this twist is that it's because you said it set up the idea that he can like change reality, and the idea that because the
Mhm.
first dream he talks about is like he's in a car and there's he sees someone in the back seat, and it became the carnival, but again it was Maya coming after him. Um,
Yeah.
the idea that his final change was he changed it to a therapist office. He changed the nightmare to this time.
Yeah.
I like
And
that.
I
I like
like
that
that
aspect
Maya
of it.
is the sexy woman version of Freddy Krueger who's stalking him throughout all of his dreams. I
What?
don't know. I thought it was pretty effective for what it was trying to do. And I liked the twist, even though you did kind of see it coming that he was still dreaming
Mm.
in the office because you saw him fall asleep in the beginning.
Do,
Um,
do you know what I
Go
think?
ahead.
Do you know what I think it is? I think it's not so much that I dislike the concepts of this episode. I think everything you're talking about you liking, I like all that stuff. All that stuff. It's
Okay.
all the ideas are
Just the
great.
execution.
It's just the actual kind of scene to scene actual watching it that I don't like that much.
Okay.
Um, Maybe it just doesn't introduce it in a quick enough way where I can start to like think about the concepts and go. It spends almost too much time just having him sound kind of crazy before he really gets to the nitty gritty of what is going on. And not that that can't be effective to sort of like tease it out like that, but you've only got 25 minutes. I feel like most of the episodes of Twilight Zone do a really good job of clearly defining what the episode's about in the first half, and then the second half takes it and spins it. Whereas this, I felt like I didn't really get all the concepts that he was playing with until right before it just spun it all completely. And maybe I was like, if you'd given me some of that earlier on, I think I'd have got more engaged in the episode. As it was, I felt like I was kind of like going through some kind of, because what they literally go into a house of horrors in the carnival. Like, after they first
Yeah.
meet, they get into this house of horrors. It's a very generic set of like spooky things and stuff happening. And I don't know. I
We
wasn't.
haven't really had like a horror episode before, though.
I
I don't know.
know.
Maybe because it's the first that I kind of liked it because of that. It's just so I like it when they take chances.
Oh, that's fair. I mean, I think a lot of Twilight Zone is taking chances, and some of them hit, and some of them miss. I'd say more hit than
Yeah.
miss. This is the first one I think I got to the end and felt like I was checking my watch a few times. I was checking the time. I was like, oh, is this how much time's left in this one? I wasn't drawn into this one the way that I have been most of them. Where most of them I've been
Okay.
like, oh, what's going on? What does this mean? Whereas this one, obviously, yeah, there's parallels to like big things like Nightmare on Elm Street that come later, but so obviously there's stuff in the idea. There's gold in there to be mined, which is maybe like the proof of concept, right? Where we know this can be done in a way that's like,
Well, it was even kind of done in that Black Mirror episode with the play. Is it called playtest? Where
yeah,
the
playtest,
guy,
yeah.
yeah. Although I don't want to say it just in case someone hasn't
Oh yeah, yeah.
hasn't seen the episode yet, but it had a kind of a similar twist in that as well. So I mean, this has been done a couple times since,
Mm.
and I think it's yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's because it reminds me of other things that I like this episode because I figured it probably just did it first. But I understand what your complaints are, and
It's a shame
I think
because I love the concept, and I also love a bottle episode, which I'm sure
mhm.
you've heard me say in the past. I love a nice bottle story where everything's set in the one location, and it's just this conversation between the two characters.
Aren't all Twilight Zone's bottle episodes?
A lot of them are.
Am I not thinking of the right definition? Maybe.
Let me think of the previous episodes. Um, nah, because I mean they go they sort of naturally go to different locations, whereas this is really just one room.
Okay.
This kind of thing. Not that you can. I mean, obviously, like most bottle stories will have maybe a little bit of setup and ending that ends and starts elsewhere, but the bulk of it will take place in one location.
Hmm.
I guess it gets a bit murky in something like the first episode where it's like an outdoors location,
Okay.
but typically it's like just one location. Like I like the concepts of this episode. The execution just leaves me a little bit lacking. Like I never. Like I felt like there was nothing to hint at, like why the person he was having nightmares of, this Maya, like why it was her, or why is he thinking of this beautiful woman that's coming after him as
Hmm.
opposed to anything else?
I guess I kind of compared her to Freddie, so it didn't really bother me.
Like is it supposed to represent someone from his past that he, was he scared of his mother? Is this kind of like some weird mother thing? Like it could be.
It could be. Yeah.
Um,
I don't think so. I would have liked it better, I think, if the secretary wasn't Maya in the last shot, but because he was dreaming, he saw her.
Yeah, because when we come back into the real world at the end, when he's actually died and he's just on the couch, the secretary comes in and it's still the same actress, and that felt a little bit
Yeah.
weird to me as well. Like,
Yeah, because he probably would have known her. Didn't he see a different woman when he walked in?
do you know? I can't remember if it was a different woman, but you would think you'd notice if it was her.
Yeah. Yeah, that part probably could have been done a little bit different. And
So,
the fact he was so quick to jump out of the window to his death instead of just accepting the other death was interesting.
mm. Well, because they mentioned he's got a heart condition, so it's the idea that if he gets to the point where he's dying in a dream because
Right.
his heart starts racing and he'll have a heart attack and die,
Hmm.
and that's what happens. Which again, fine. Like conceptually, I like a lot of this episode. I guess ultimately, I just think the script's a little bit undercooked, and it's notable that this one was not written by Serling.
Yes, that's right. It was written by some other. I think he does more episodes though.
Yeah, Charles Beaumont. Yeah, I recognize the name. I think he does do more episodes, but uh, and not to say that I'm assuming all Beaumont episodes are ones I won't like now, but like it is notable that this
It
is.
does feel very different from the other ones that we've watched,
Mm,
which I think were all written by Sterling
I
so
think
far.
I think so. I don't remember seeing another writer credit in the last 8 episodes. So, which is nice that other people are starting to like filter in, and we're seeing some other visions and other ideas. But I mean, I didn't hate the episode. I don't want to come off like super negative. I felt kind of like just really lukewarm on everything that was
Okay.
happening. I never got like engaged, and if I started to try and analyze why, I think it's because it's not that the concepts aren't things that I'm interested in. It's just because I feel that the pacing of the distribution of the concepts and information could have been handled better. So that by the time I got to the second half, I was like, okay, how can we play with this? Instead, I was still learning about what it was about. At that point, I started to feel a little bit like, okay, get to it. Can we get to it? Can we?
All right. Well, I understand. I still think I don't know. For me, it worked. I was still into the mystery, and I wanted to know more about the woman. And yeah, I think it worked for me, but that's all right.
Ah, the first.
It's not
This.
a it's not a very deep episode. Like there's not a lot of
No.
messages in it or anything. It's just will this guy die?
Yeah, like, maybe that's part of the disappointment. I almost like maybe I was looking for like a meaning like in the episode, and like there was never really one there.
No, not really.
And I guess that's maybe why
Uh,
I'm thinking about who is Maya. What is she to him? What does she represent to him? Like maybe that's where I was looking for the meaning, because I assumed that's where it had to come from or something like that. I don't know. And
yeah,
there's
I
nothing.
understand why you would try to look for that, but I don't think it was there. And I don't know if it needed to be there for the Twilight Zone episode to work.
Oh sure, like I don't think there's nothing wrong with just having like a fun idea that could be twist and turny and exciting. I think my my problem was I didn't think it was that exciting. So
All right, fair enough.
yeah. Well, we've started a slippery slope, so maybe by episode 15 we'll be done. How dare you disagree with me? What? No. Um,
Yeah, I'll start bringing in like glass bottles just so I can shatter him against the wall or something. No, Peter, you're wrong.
well, I mean, the scene from Thor where he shouts another, except like angry. It's not a.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, no, no, you dumb Scottish bitch. This is the right opinion of the episode. How dare you?
That does sound like me.
That does sound like you. You should hear when we're not recording. Like literally right until I like count down and say
I'm
action.
so abusive.
Yeah, so abusive. I mean, I'm lucky we're not in the same location, because I'd probably have bruises.
I am a monster in real life. Hmm.
You're Maya. You're my Maya.
Ooh, spooky.
No, I'm not going to go to sleep. So that is that is episode 9 of Twilight Zone. So we always talk about the ending, the tease for the next episode, where Serling tells us about it. There's a ship going from
Trying to remember what
Liverpool to I think it said New York. It was definitely the US. Maybe it wasn't that city, but it was definitely the US. And notably though, he was the the ring that he was holding said like the SS Glasgow, and I was like, wait, what?
Oh yeah, okay, I
And
remember.
I was like, and then he said Liverpool, and I'm like, is this the ship just called the Glasgow? Okay, fair enough, whatever. I mean, Glasgow did build a lot of ships. That used to be Glasgow's big thing, was shipbuilding back in the day, but not for
Oh,
a long
okay.
time. But I
Yeah, ships
imagine
get
it.
named after places.
Yeah, I
I
imagine in
served on a ship that was called the Blue Ridge, which is just a range of mountains in the east coast of the U.S.
yeah,
It's not, they're not all named Enterprise.
but you wish they were.
Yes,
Yes. Uh,
making my life that much closer to Star Trek.
yes. So the next one is called. I'm just going to get the title. Judgment Night. Here's the description on IMDb. It's 1942, and a man finds himself on a ship in the Atlantic, not knowing who he is or how he got there. He does know the ship will soon be attacked by a German U-boat.
Ooh, sounds
Interesting.
tense.
Does sound tense. I don't remember this episode, but it sounds good.
Yeah, I don't remember it either.
Yeah, I think I vaguely remember the title.
No, it's not ringing a bell for me.
Judgment Night sounds familiar, but
You're thinking of Judgment Day,
maybe. What you mean, like the hit film Terminator 2?
the hit film.
Still waiting for my Buffy reference, just for the record.
Yeah, I've forgotten everything about Buffy, so There were no vampires in this episode, unlike the hit television show Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Nailed it.
I'm desperate. I'll take it. All right, that's been Twilight Zone episode 9. So we'll see you next time for episode 10. Let us know what you thought of this one in the comments below. You can like and subscribe and all that stuff. You can get us on the Twitters at mail_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support us, how can they do that, Tara?
God damn you. You can support us by going to patreon.com/mildfuzztv. There it is. You can support for as little as $1 per month. And with that, you'll get exclusive episodes of The Ace and Screams After Midnight. Such an asshole. Such an asshole. I quit.
Why do you find that so stressful?
People who are watching can know why. People who are listening probably don't know.
I was just leaning back in my chair.
I know.
I was just getting comfortable.
I hate you.
I was enjoying your outro. You were doing a good job. It was soothing.
Such a dick.
All right, that is us. So, thank you once again for watching or listening, and maybe convince Tara if you catch her when I'm streaming on YouTube. Tara sometimes pops in the chat. If you catch her in there, convince her to stay. I think I'm scaring her off. But we'll see you next time. So thanks once again. Keep watching TV in the Twilight Zone.